right, welcome back to Realize the Self, and I'm Mark. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about a really powerful practice that one can uh, put into play and put into one's life every single day, and that is laughter. And I wrote a small page about laughter in the book, but I think I'll elaborate on it much more further and in depth in the next book I plan on releasing probably end of this year, maybe next year. But when I talk about in the book, I just briefly touch upon it. Certain Buddhist monks, particularly those practicing advanced meditation techniques such as Tamo or Tonglen, are known for their spontaneous laughter during deep states of meditation. This laughter is not merely an emotional response, it reflects a profound neurophysiological state associated with heightened awareness and joy. A study by Richard Davidson and colleagues in the early 2000s found that long-term meditation practitioners had sustained high amplitude gamma oscillations and enhanced phase synchrony across different regions of the brain. These patterns correlate with heightened sense of compassion, bliss, and transcendence. The spontaneous laughter observed in monks can be seen as an outward manifestation of this intercoherent and neurosynchronization. The laughter itself may also act as a biofeedback mechanism, reinforcing gamma activity to increase positive effect and physiological arousal. In this way, the mind-body feedback loop amplifies states of joy, equanimity, and ultimately experiences that resemble self-realization, a state of persistent clarity, presence, and non-dual awareness. And that was just one small aspect of laughter that I incorporated into the book, but there's so much more into it. And so we're going to talk about that now with monks and laughter and how powerful it is. I know I catch myself laughing quite a bit, and you could just feel this flush of energy and positivity and positive bliss that occurs. And part of that is when you laugh, there's this moment of stillness, of actual self-realization during this. And so monks are often seen as serious seekers, but many traditions, especially Zen and Tibetan, treat laughter as a sign of awakening. Why is this? Because when the ego loosens its grip, what's left often finds the whole performance of me kind of funny. That moment is self-realization, not gaining something new, but recognizing what was always there. The self drops from center stage, effort relaxes, humor appears. Now enter science. When monks meditate deeply or when people laugh genuinely, the brain shifts into similar brainwave patterns. Increase alpha waves for relaxed awareness, open attention, theta waves, insight, creativity, ego quieting, and gamma waves, intense clarity, compassion, unity, empathy. Studies on experienced meditators show sustained gamma activity linked to feelings of connectedness and well-being. Laughter, especially spontaneous or social laughter, can trigger similar synchronization across brain regions. Different doorway, but it's the same room. From a scientific perspective, meditation calms the default narrating self, the default mode network. Laughter interrupts it completely. Both reduce stress hormones and increase coherence in the brain. From a monk's perspective, serious striving blocks realization. Laughter means you stop trying. Enlightenment, self-realization, isn't heavy, it's light. The overlap, self-realization isn't grim transcendence, it's relaxed clarity. When the brain stops over-controlling, awareness broadens and joy leaks out as laughter. In short, when the brain lets go, the monks laugh and science quietly nods. And we could go even more in depth about this, but long-term meditators, as we talked about, show sustained gamma activity, not just spikes. In most people, gamma appears briefly during problem-solving, novelty, or aha moments. It quickly collapses back into beta-driven narration. In advanced meditators, gamma becomes stable, brain regions synchronize across vast distances, emotional regulation, attention, and perception unify. Translation: the brain stops fragmenting experience into me versus the world. This maps clearly onto descriptions of non-dual awareness in contemplative traditions. It's not mystical stuff, it's measurable coherence. And that relates to flow states and exercising as well. It's the same stuff you get, this gamma production is quite fascinating, and intense periods of concentration. And the ego is a neurological loop. From a neuroscience point of view, ego is closely tied to the default mode network, which is self-referential thinking, time travel, such as the past and the future. Remember, the self is always in the now. Storytelling about who I am, who I want to be, who I was, who I. When the DMN, default mode network activity drops, the sense of a central controller weakens. Experience feels more immediate and vivid. Emotional reactivity decreases. Meditation slowly quiets the default mode network. Laughter nukes it instantly. And so, while laughter cracks the ego, real laughter, not polite chuckling, has three main effects. It provides a cognitive interruption. The narrative collapses mid-sentence. You can't maintain a self-image while uncontrollably laughing. Physiological surrender. Breath becomes irregular. Muscle spasms. Control is lost. The ego hates loss of control. Social mirroring. Laughter synchronizes brains. Boundaries blur, me dissolves into us. Neurologically, prefrontal control drops. Limbic and sensory systems light up. Gamma bursts often appear during genuine laughter. So laughter is not just joy, it also is ego failure. Laughter is a micro awakening. Zen, this is why Zen's full of laughing monks, absurd koans, and sudden shouts. When you laugh deeply, the self model glitches for a moment. There is experience without a manager. Awareness is present but ownerless. That gap, even if it only lasts a couple seconds, it's peaking it into awakening. People often report everything felt obvious. I forgot myself. There was just this happening. That's not a metaphor, it's the DMN, default mode network, offline, and gamma coherence online. And then why awakened laughter feels different. There's a specific quality to laughter after insight that's softer, less sarcastic, less defensive, more compassionate. Because it's not laughing at something, it's laughing at the unnecessary tension of pretending to be separate. From the inside, it feels like, oh, that's what I was taking so seriously. And if you put it all together, meditation trains the brain to stabilize gamma coherence. Gamma reflects integrated, non-fragmented awareness. The ego is a loop prediction and control system. Laughter interrupts that loop violently but harmlessly. Awakening is recognizing that what there when the loop stops. So monks laugh not because they're unserious, but because seriousness was just an illusion. And so, yeah, that's actually a beautiful explanation of of laughter and how it relates to awakening self-realization. And humor does feel sacred. Many different cultures talk about humor in different ways. The Native American traditions have sacred clowns. Hinduism has Krishna the trickster. Zen has laughing Buddhas. We have all seen that Buddha with a big smile and laughter. Medieval Christianity has the Feast of Fools. Sufism uses absurd stories. But why? Because laughter can be a form of surrender without the drama. Most spiritual practices, they aim at surrender, but the ego resists. If I surrender, I lose. Laughter reframes surrender as, oh, nothing was at stake. That's why laughter feels holy and sacred. It's a release. It's a stillness. It's realizing that everything's just a big illusion. Nothing's real. Nothing's permanent. Everything's, I guess, silly in a way. Laughter can feel timeless, and deep laughter, the past and future disappear. So remember, we talk about the self is in the present moment, and so the mind always wants to grasp onto the past and to the future, but deep laughter helps ground us into the present. The body breathes itself. The body breathes itself. Awareness is vivid and present. You ever laugh so hard that your stomach hurt because you're just and all that? The way that you're breathing is almost like you're having a convulsion or something. And so the same temporal collapse reported in mystical states is touched upon in deep laughter. And so laughter does that. It helps you touch eternity. It helps you touch the self. And that's it for this video. And I just wanted to remind everyone to not take life so seriously. Be serious, because we are in this illusion. We are in a dream. We are in something that's not real, whatever it may be. Either it's AI produced or some sort of simulation or a combination of all sorts of stuff. And I'd encourage everyone to, laugh more. That's incredibly important, and maybe you can use that as a bridge to the self. And everyone does have moments of self-realization. They're just not aware of what it is, what it means, or the knowledge of it. But we all have moments of stillness of the mind. Even the breath, when the breath changes from inhale to exhale, there's a micro moment of self-realization as well. And there's actually a meditative technique where you could focus on that aspect. But in this video, we're talking more about laughter, and the science definitely shows that there's a huge connection with gamma brainwaves, and gamma brainwaves are linked to high amplitudes of high amounts of compassion, empathy, love, and loving kindness. So I encourage you to cultivate those loving attributes, which equates to the four Brahma Viharas, and to laugh more and to not take life so serious, just like the monks and yogis and all the ancient people we talked about. And thank you for being here. We'll see you on the next one.